Today, we're diving into the world of Edmontosaurus, one of the last dinosaurs who ever roamed the earth. This massive herbivore shared its world with giants like Triceratops, Ankylosaurus, and the fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex, all just before the cataclysmic extinction event. However, thanks to a treasure trove of fossils, we now know more about Edmontosaurus than most dinosaurs, from its brain and feeding habits to the battle scars it bore from predator attacks. This herbivore isn't just another fossil, it made history as one of the first dinosaurs ever restored and put on display. We're talking about iconic specimens like YPM 2182 and UNSM 2414, the first complete dinosaur skeletons to be mounted in the United States. And it gets even more interesting, multiple Edmontosaurus fossils have been found with preserved skin impressions, giving us a rare glimpse into what these ancient giants actually look like. Plus, we've got evidence of epic clashes between Edmontosaurus and Tyrannosaurus, with a fossil showing a theropod bite right on its tail. If you'd like to keep learning more about Edmontosaurus, then this video will feature a complete paleontological profile of the lizard from Edmonton, and an attempt to recreate its environment in the game Jurassic World Evolution 2. Edmontosaurus represents a fascinating chapter in the story of hadrosaurids, also known as duck-billed dinosaurs. With two known species, Edmontosaurus regalis and Edmontosaurus annectens, these massive herbivores roamed North America from 73 to 66 million years ago. These animals were huge, with Edmontosaurus annectens reaching up to 39 feet in length and tipping the scales at over 5 metric tons. These weren't just large dinosaurs, they were among the largest of their kind. What's particularly interesting about Edmontosaurus is its lack of prominent bony crests found in many other hadrosaurids. Instead, it's believed that these dinosaurs might have had soft tissue-like structures like inflatable air sacs, used for both visual displays and perhaps even communication. Imagine that, massive herds of Edmontosaurus using these sacs to signal to one another in ways we can only begin to understand. The skull of Edmontosaurus is also another point of fascination. While it lacked a crest, the beak was expansive and toothless, like keratinous material extending its reach. Recent discoveries have revealed that the beak was more hook-shaped than previously thought, changing our perception of how these dinosaurs looked like. And it wasn't just the beak that was unique. Edmontosaurus had highly specialized teeth, with up to 6 columns per jaw, designed to continuously replace themselves, ensuring this giant could process vast amounts of vegetation. Now, while Edmontosaurus may have been a plant eater, it wasn't a slow lumbering dinosaur. Studies using computer modeling suggest that this dinosaur could move, potentially reaching speeds up to 28 miles per hour. It was a facultative biped, meaning it moved on all fours most of the time, but could rear up on its hind legs when necessary, perhaps to move quickly or reach higher vegetation. Social behavior in Edmontosaurus is suggested by the discovery of extensive bone beds, indicating that these dinosaurs likely lived in large social groups. Hadrosaurid social structure is still poorly understood. Evidence from bone beds suggests that juvenile individuals of some Hadrosaurid species lived apart from herds composed of older individuals, a phenomenon called age segregation. However, the timing at which juvenile individuals became segregated and later rejoined a multi-generational herd is unknown. But it wasn't all smooth sailing for Edmontosaurus. In 2003, paleontologists discovered evidence of tumors in some specimens, a condition not found in other dinosaurs from the same time. The cause, however, remains a mystery. Could it have been environmental factors or something in their genetics? One of the most remarkable aspects of Edmontosaurus is the preservation of its fossils. Some specimens, like the famous Dakota mummy, are so well preserved that they include skin impressions and traces of organic material. These finds offer an unprecedented look at what these creatures may have looked like in life, providing invaluable insights into their biology. In the end, Edmontosaurus was among the last of its kind, vanishing during the catastrophic KT event that marked the end of the dinosaurs. Yet, through the incredible fossil record, we've been able to reconstruct its life, making Edmontosaurus one of the most thoroughly understood dinosaurs today. The story of Edmontosaurus begins in the 1880s, a time when paleontology was still in its infancy. In 1882, deep in the Hell Creek Formation of Montana, paleontologists Dr. J. L. Wortman and R. S. Hill unearthed the first fossils of what would eventually be known as Edmontosaurus. But back then, these bones belonged to a different world, where dinosaurs were often misclassified and misunderstood. In 1892, Othniel Charles Marsh, one of the most prominent paleontologists of the time, named a new species, Cladosaurus annectens. This was based on fossils from the Lance Formation in Wyoming, but little did he know the species would later become central to the Edmontosaurus saga. Following Marsh's death in 1897, the classification of Cladosaurus annectens became increasingly chaotic. With an incomplete understanding of Hadrosaurs, it was tossed around between different genera like a hot potato. For years, it was classified under Trachodon, Thespesius, and even Cladosaurus itself. Then came paleontologist John Bell Hatcher. In 1902, he attempted to bring order to the chaos, proposing that nearly all known hadrosaurs be classified under Trachodon. However, this was just the beginning of the confusion. As the 20th century progressed, new fossil discoveries in Canada and Montana shed light on the diversity of hadrosaurs, challenging the oversimplification of the past. In 1915, paleontologist Charles W. Gilmore suggested a return to earlier classifications, reserving Thespesius for Lance Formation hadrosaurs and limiting Trachodon to fossils from the Judith River Formation. In 1917, Canadian paleontologist Lawrence Lamb named the new type species Edmontosaurus regalis after fossils found in Alberta's Horseshoe Canyons Formation. This moment marked the official rise of Edmontosaurus as its own distinct genus, though it still had more twists and turns ahead. The early 20th century wasn't just about classification debates, it was also a time of extraordinary discoveries. In 1908, fossil hunter Charles Cecilius Sternberg and his sons unearthed a mummified hadrosaur specimen in Wyoming, one of the best preserved dinosaur fossils ever found. This type specimen, known as AMNH 5060, was initially attributed to Cladosaurus annectens, but would later be recognized as Edmontosaurus. By the mid-20th century, the dust had settled somewhat, with Edmontosaurus recognized as a separate genus. But the story didn't end there. Over the years, other genera like Anatosaurus, Anatotidon, and even the more recently discovered Ugrunaluk were all found to be synonyms of Edmontosaurus. Today, Edmontosaurus is known as one of the most iconic hadrosaurs of the late Cretaceous, a dinosaur with a long and winding history that reflects the complexities of paleontology itself. Its journey from a confused classification to its rightful place in the dinosaur family tree is a testament to the evolving nature of scientific discovery. In the late Cretaceous period, a vast expanse of coastal plains and swamps stretched across what is now western North America. Here, among the tropical forests and bayous, lived one of the most widespread and successful herbivores of its time, Edmontosaurus. This duck-billed dinosaur wasn't just a creature of the land, it was a dinosaur that adapted to the diverse and changing environments of the world. To understand Edmontosaurus, we first need to step into its world. The late Cretaceous was a time of humid subtropical climates where coastal plains and bayous teemed with life. From the conifer-rich swamps of Wyoming's Land Formation to the hardwood forests of the northern coastal plains, Edmontosaurus made its home across a vast range, from Colorado to the northern slopes of Alaska. The widespread distribution of Edmontosaurus fossils suggests that these dinosaurs preferred coastal regions, thriving in the rich, varied environments of the time. But they weren't just stationary inhabitants, they were on the move, migrating in herds across the landscape. The diet of Edmontosaurus has been a topic of scientific debate for over a century. Back in 1922, the discovery of plant remains within a Senckenberg Museum specimen sparked a heated discussion. Paleobotanist Kraussel believed that these remains were gut contents, evidence of a terrestrial herbivore. But not everyone was convinced. Some argued that the plants could have been washed into the carcass after death, leaving the questions open. At that time, many scientists still believed that hadrosaurs like Edmontosaurus were primarily aquatic, feeding on water plants. This idea persisted until the mid-20th century, with some proposing that Edmontosaurus had a diet similar to modern ducks, filtering aquatic plants and invertebrates from the water. But as more evidence came to light, this interpretation began to fall apart. In the 1960s and 70s, the prevailing view of hadrosaurs took a significant turn, thanks to paleontologists like John Ostrom. He challenged the aquatic model, presenting Edmontosaurus as a terrestrial herbivore, grazing on the rich flora of its environment. His work laid the foundation for the modern understanding of these dinosaurs. We now know that Edmontosaurus was a versatile feeder, using its broad beak to clip vegetation and its teeth to slice and grind plant material. Its diet likely included a variety of plants, from conifer needles and twigs to broadleaf plants and small seeds. The scratches on its teeth suggest a grazing lifestyle, where it fed on ground-level plants, perhaps including silica-rich horsetails, which would have worn down its teeth. Today, the debate continues, with some researchers suggesting that the plant remains found in Edmontosaurus fossils might represent the diet of a starving animal rather than its typical meals. The heavily prepared fossils make it difficult to draw definitive conclusions, leaving room for new discoveries and interpretations. From coastal plains to swamps, Edmontosaurus left its mark on the landscapes of ancient North America. Its story is one of adaptation, migration, and survival, offering a window into the dynamic ecosystems of the late Cretaceous. And while questions remain, the legacy of this remarkable dinosaur continues to evolve, just as our understanding of its world does. The last chapter of the Cretaceous was a time of intense competition and survival. Edmontosaurus was one of the most common herbivores of this period, making up a significant portion of the dinosaur population. In the Lands Formation, which stretched from present-day Colorado to Alberta, Edmontosaurus shared its habitat with a diverse array of other dinosaurs. In the rich ecosystems of late Cretaceous North America, Edmontosaurus was often found alongside the mighty Triceratops. According to paleontologist Robert T. Backer, Edmontosaurus made up about 1/7 of the large dinosaur sample, with the rest dominated by Triceratops. This coastal plain association extended across the vast area from Colorado to Alberta, forming a dynamic ecosystem where these two giants roamed together. The world of Edmontosaurus was a bustling community filled with some of the most iconic dinosaurs in history. Among them was the heavily armored Ankylosaurus, a walking fortress equipped with a club tail for defense. Sharing its habitat with Edmontosaurus, Ankylosaurus added another layer of complexity to this prehistoric world. The lesser-known Denversaurus, a relative of Ankylosaurus, brought its own unique features to the table, further enriching this diverse ecosystem. Then there was Pachycephalosaurus, with its thick dome-shaped skull, a dinosaur like no other. Though its role in the ecosystem isn't fully understood, it adds a layer of mystery to the late Cretaceous. Then, often mistaken for Triceratops, Torosaurus was another large ceratopsid with an even larger frill, making it a formidable presence alongside its famous cousin. Adding a touch of avian grace to this prehistoric landscape was Anzu, the so-called chicken from hell, a large bird-like dinosaur that brought a unique charm to the world of Edmontosaurus. But life in the late Cretaceous wasn't without any danger. Edmontosaurus shared its world with one of the most fearsome predators of all time, Tyrannosaurus rex. Fossil evidence tells a harrowing tale of survival, where an Edmontosaurus specimen from the Denver Museum of Nature and Science bears the scars of a close encounter with a T-Rex. The 13th to 17th vertebrae of this Edmontosaurus show signs of a violent attack from behind, likely by a T-Rex. The damage is partially healed, indicating that the Edmontosaurus survived the initial assault. But the evidence doesn't end there. A heel fracture in the left hip suggests that this animal may have been limping, making it an easy target for the predator. Some researchers even suggest that the Edmontosaurus may have used its tail like a weapon, possibly fending off the attacking theropod. However, more recent studies propose alternative explanations, leaving the true nature of this encounter to a mystery. But Tyrannosaurus rex wasn't the only predator in this paleo ecosystem. While T-Rex dominated as the apex predator, smaller, more agile theropods also played a crucial role in the life and often the death of Edmontosaurus. One such example comes from a specimen discovered in South Dakota, which bears the unmistakable marks of a violent encounter. Tooth marks on its lower jaw suggest an attack by smaller theropods, likely targeting the throat. Though this Edmontosaurus survived the initial onslaught, it probably succumbed to its injuries shortly after. Among these smaller predators was Echiroraptor, a small but fierce relative of Velociraptor. This nimble hunter stalked the shadows, playing the role of a cunning predator in a world dominated by giants. Even more formidable was Echidoraptor, a large raptor species that likely hunted in packs. Their coordinated attacks would have added to the dynamic and deadly interactions within this ancient ecosystem, showing that the dangers for Edmontosaurus came in many forms. Scavenging was a common occurrence in late Cretaceous. In Alberta, Edmontosaurus bone beds show evidence of scavenging by theropods like Albertosaurus and Sargassolestes. At one site, the bones even bear the marks of Daspletosaurus, a close relative of T-Rex. However, recent studies suggest that all evidence of Daspletosaurus in the Horseshoe Canyon Formation actually points to Albertosaurus. From the ferocious Tyrannosaurus to the armored Ankylosaurus and the graceful Anzu, the world of Edmontosaurus was filled with a cast of incredible dinosaurs. Each one played a vital role in an ecosystem that, while vibrant, was living in the shadow of extinction. Together, they formed a prehistoric world that continues to captivate our imaginations today. This duck-billed dinosaur, though not as famous as some of its counterparts, has a rich history within the world of Jurassic Park, spanning from its early mentions to its role in video games and beyond. Edmontosaurus first made its mark in the Jurassic Park universe through the Dinopedia section of the Jurassic Park Institute, where it appeared alongside its synonyms, Atuchin and Anatosaurus. This reference set the stage for Edmontosaurus to become part of the Jurassic Park lore, even though it hadn't yet appeared on screen. Fast forward to Isla Sorna, where Edmontosaurus was one of the dinosaurs created for the original Jurassic Park. 4 individuals were on the island when Hurricane Clarissa struck, releasing them into the wild. What happened to these dinosaurs remained a mystery, as they were not seen during the 1997 incident on Sorna. This adds an element of intrigue, leaving fans wondering about their fate. InGen later cloned Edmontosaurus for Misrani Global's corporation Jurassic World. Interestingly, the clones on the Jurassic World website lacked the fleshy comb on their heads, a feature seen in one of the original species, and were based on the second species, E. annectens. The official artwork depicted these dinosaurs with a tan body, dark brown stripes, a lime green head with red crest, and a yellow beak. Although their exact appearance in the park is unknown, they were said to inhabit the Gallimimus Valley. Unfortunately, these Edmontosaurus clones fell back into extinction after the Isla Nublar incident of 2015 under unknown circumstances. As Jurassic World fell into chaos, it remains unclear whether any Edmontosaurus DNA was retrieved by mercenaries or if any specimens were rescued before the eruption on Isla Nublar. However, we do see a skeleton of Edmontosaurus in Lockwood Manor during the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, reminding us of its ongoing legacy. A keen eye might also notice a Hadrosaur skull in the T-Rex nest in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park Legacy members concluded that this skull likely belonged to the genus Atuchin, now classified as Edmontosaurus annectens. Given that Edmontosaurus was known to live on Isla Sorna during the events of the film, it's highly plausible that this skull belonged to one of the 4 cloned individuals from the species. This theory adds an extra layer of depth to the franchise's lore, sparking debate amongst fans. Edmontosaurus also made its way into the gaming world with Jurassic World Evolution. Here, it's one of the first dinosaurs available to the Hammond Foundation on Isla Matanceros. In the game, Edmontosaurus is depicted with a teal-blue head, yellow highlights, and an orange body. Despite being defenseless against most carnivores, it's staple in many theme exhibits due to its longevity, low incubation costs, and good disease resistance. Interestingly, while Edmontosaurus is yet to appear in any of the Jurassic films, its design and evolution was inspired by the promotional artwork for Jurassic World, created by the renowned paleo artist Julius T. Sotoni. The development team even added a crest to the dinosaur, reflecting recent fossil discoveries and staying true to the latest paleontological research. And there you have it, a journey through the Jurassic Park franchise from the perspective of Edmontosaurus. Though it may not be as iconic as a T-Rex or Velociraptor, Edmontosaurus has carved out a niche in the franchise with a story that continues to evolve. Hey guys, welcome back to my park. We're on the herbivorous side of my park and we've got ourselves a little Edmontosaurus enclosure set up for us to go ahead and start working on. We got our entrance to our log over here. Got some hotels set up and another viewing area right here. So we got this nice little shape. We're going to go ahead and do a little river going down here, stretching here, and then maybe a little lake here. So there. Erase this back part, add some conifers, some calamites maybe, and then just based on the food that Edmontosaurus likes to eat, we'll go ahead and just stick with the fibrous ground cover, some calamites, some cycads. But we'll go ahead and add some conifers there at the end, and maybe some ginkgos, since they, were around during the time of Edmontosaurus, so it's going to be accurate to the time. So let's go ahead and start with the river. We're going to go ahead and just do one straight line down here. Let's make it a bit thinner though. And I think we're good. I guess we'll leave it as so. A little chunkier, so. Okay, cool. Let's do elevation after that. Just go ahead and just elevate this backside, not too much, but just enough so that it blocks up some of that background. Gives an enclosure a bit some depth. But aside from that, I think everything else is going to remain pretty flat. There's going to be some flat grassland. So but let's go ahead and start working on our plants and foliage. So let's go ahead and just add our cycads right here. Just around the base of the mouth of the river. We'll actually cover this entire area in cycads, actually. Okay, after that, let's go ahead and just do some fibrous ground cover. Cover the rest of the area. We'll add some rocks in a bit. It's been a while since I uploaded my last video. I've been studying for the LSAT, so that's taking up a lot of time. So that's why you haven't seen that many videos up lately, but I'll start posting more soon, hopefully, if everything works well. Just some basic background foliage, just so it can blend in with the one over here we have over there. So let's go ahead and just add our calamites all around this area. Make it a little thicker. Just want to erase those palm trees if possible. Place them with some ginkgos. Some ginkgos going. Okay, perfect. After that, let's go ahead and just add our rocks, and let's just mostly stick to, right now it's nighttime, so we can't really see much of it, but let's just stick with some tropical, which is, you know, more or less the environment that Edmontosaurus lived in. Not too many, just enough so that there's an abundance of them. And just like most of my enclosures, I like to group them. So that's exactly what we're doing here. A couple more over here. Let's go ahead and add some here. Maybe want to block this. No, we don't want to block the Edmontosaurus, so we just go ahead and add them here. Let's add a big one here, and then maybe this one right here. Just to finish it off so we can have some around our little log area. We'll add some couple of logs here, so. Okay. Well, got that done. Let's go ahead and add our tall conifers. So we can always work with these guys, the alpine or the, what's it called? Taiga, there we go. I like the taiga ones more. So let's work with some taigas. Just add them here like so. And I like to group like groups of 3, so just 3 in a row. That way there's some depth to it. So we got our tall ones. Just try to mix the trees around. That way it doesn't suit too uniform. It looks more natural. Just like so. Got some good depth going. And I'll just continue it down the line. Now we got that done. Continue down the line like so. And actually, let's go ahead and mix it up. Let's put some ginkgos here in the background again. They don't want to grow there. You know what? Let's fill this rest with the ginkgos. Looks pretty good. Kind of like that. Finish it up with some fibrous ground cover. Forgot about that over here. Not that one actually. Let's go ahead and just fill that up with calamites. And just throw in the remainder of the conifer trees. Actually, one more thing. We can't forget this. The terrain. So this part will have some sandiness to it. Mix in some dirt and rock. Especially around these areas. just go ahead and just mention some dirt every now and then right here. These are going to be like the tracks that the Edmontosaurus walks through. Yeah, as you see ensues every once in a while after, you know, these large dinosaurs walk around, they kick up the dirt, all that stuff. I should make it a little thicker over here. And there you have it, guys. This is going to be the Edmontosaurus enclosure. I'll go ahead and add him in a bit and you'll get to see what it looks like. But this is what we have. Go ahead and just throw in a little bit of sand here and there. Have a little mix here and there. Yeah. This is what we have. Alright, let me know what you guys think, what you change, what you thought I did well, but this is what it looks like. See you in the next one.